Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Well, I did it again. I got a new cartridge, a new rifle to test simply because I was intrigued, not necessarily by the numbers or the ballistic numbers, but by the inventor of this cartridge. A guy that I truly admire, and that's Bill Wilson of Wilson Combat Company. That he developed a new cartridge because he self-describes himself as a pure hunter that hunts over 300 days out of the year, and he wanted a rifle that would be able to take out pigs and deer out to 300 yards in a small AR-15 type of package. So come back in a moment, folks, and we'll discuss this new cartridge, and I'm going to put it through its paces. Target set up at 100 yards. Let's get to shooting. Okay, you should never test loads or any of that kind of stuff, especially with a new platform, new ammunition, sighting in, because that's going to give you an offset probably of your point of aim, point of impact that you need to adjust for the scope. But I did get some numbers on that first three, and that was an average of 25.48 with 110 grain Vmax. Okay, so now I'm going to shoot the next two. Then I'm going to go ahead and go over this rifle with you again and the reasons for its purchase. So let's go ahead and shoot the next three, and let's hope that I got it sighted in correctly. The target is at 100 yards now. I don't have a clue where it's going to hit, but we're going to find out. Get the parallax correct. Alright, here we go. Okay, that was high left. 2579. 2600 is what I'm after with these 110 grains, but we shall see. Let's see if it groups. $25.81. Wow. $25.82. Well, maybe we ought to just stop right there, huh? No, I still have more rounds to shoot. All right, let me adjust the scope again and we'll move on. Bill Wilson developed the 300 hammer because he says he's an avowed hunter that hunts pigs and deer 300 days out of the year. Now he wanted to develop a cartridge that would fit into an AR-15 type of platform using the same bolt head as a 5.56. Everything is the same except for a barrel change, maybe gas block, a gas tube, using a 300 blackout magazine. Now his objectives was to outperform the 300 blackout with similar weight bullets, but to go supersonic, never intended to be subsonic like the 300 blackout. And with similar weight bullets could go 200 to 300 feet per second faster than the 300 blackout, and go 100 to 150 feet faster than the 7.62 by 39. And he wanted to go even further. He wanted to be able to have a fast action, a quick operating type of modern sporting arm to replace the 30-30 lever action, 30-30 Winchester lever action, and have similar performance. And that's what I'm out here testing to find out. All that sounds great, because I'm looking to replace my old saddle gun, which was a 94 Winchester lever action 30-30 that I don't use anymore. And so, this type of setup with an 18-inch barrel, he even named it right. He called it the Tactical Hunter. Now, how could you go wrong with that? All right, but I am out here testing loads. Today, just the 110 grain Vmax and the 110 grain Lehigh Defense. An interesting story on the Lehigh Defense. He got together with the Lehigh people to develop a bullet specifically for the 300 hammer. And it worked so well that he ended up buying the company. So now Lehigh Defense is part of Wilson Combat. Okay, so I've shot the first 6 shots here. I'll show you those 3 here in a minute. And I'm going to go ahead and move on. You know, you should never do everything all at once, which is load testing, getting your scope zeroed, all of that kind of stuff. But because I have nothing but hand loads to do, that's what I ended up with. I'm getting used to an 18-inch barrel. The magneto speed doesn't like it very much, but you know, we're going to get what numbers we can and give them to you. So far, so good. Okay, so let me go ahead and reset up the camera down on the target, and let's get it to go ahead and shoot the 3rd round of the 110 Vmax. So far, so good. That was an average of 2882 with an SD of 1 and an extreme spread of 3. All right, let's move on. Okay, now the next 3. Again, I'm using CFE Black, which is the recommended powder by Bill Wilson himself on his website. He gives you all the reloading information you need from his fast, extensive testing on this cartridge. The 110 Vmax is, well, it's a varmint cartridge. It's not necessarily a pig or a deer cartridge, but I'm testing that out. All right, so let's go ahead and shoot the next 3. I did adjust the scope a little bit. Let's see how well I did, but that was a pretty good situation there. Okay, I guess the adjustments were pretty good. 2617 on that last shot. Well, let's get the numbers. Average 2608, SD 13, extreme spread 24. Okay, let's go set up for the final 3 here. I'm going to show you what happened in between shots here when I went to change the camera. An antelope showed up. Okay, well, here's a picture of the antelope. Well, look what was out here at the shooting range today. Well, little antelope, stay healthy. See you next time. Okay, here's the last 3 of the 110 Vmax. I did achieve the 2600 that I was after, an average of 2613 on that last group of 3. I marked the target down there. This could get kind of messy, but hopefully I've got the close-up there so you can see it. All right, here we go. Same target. Yeah, it kind of gets messy. 2638 on that, and I'm still a half a grain below what he lists, actually a full grain below what he lists as max load, because quite frankly, the case was filling up and kind of, you know, kind of crunchy when I was seating the bullets, and I'm not real comfortable with that. But that's acceptable accuracy. That meets what he has for his max load. All right, so let's move on to the next, which is the Lehigh Defense, all copper. I I don't like all copper bullets, but we're going to give it a shot. Now, so first three of the Lehigh Defense 110 grain. I'm only going to show you the first three and the last three to speed this up because I'm going to have a much more series on this rifle as far as other bullets, because I want to really get the 125 to 130 grain perfected as my truck gun. Again, Mr. Wilson bought this company because he liked the bullet so much for his 300 hammer at, you know, it should be really good. My experience with all copper bullets has not been good. I go clear back to the early 2000s when they were still perfecting the all copper or monolithic bullet, and they did not do well and spiked high pressure for me in my other rifles. Now your experience may be different, I understand, but you know, I pretty much go by what my experiences are and share that with you. Okay, so let's go ahead and shoot these first three. Chronograph is on. I've got a new target out there set up, so fresh clean target, because that other one got kind of messy with all the bullets shooting in one area. Alright, here we go. .2507. .2577. .2573. Well, they group well. Okay, I'll bring you back for the last three. So hang on, folks. Okay, so far, really good. Alright, so for this last three shots, I took the chronograph off. I put a muzzle device on, because part of this test is to see where point of impact shift without the chronograph and with the muzzle brake on. The last 6 shots all went into one hole. You'll see that on the target when we do the analysis here pretty quick. But I want to see where this, where these three go. I don't really need to know the numbers on these because I only went up 3/10 of a grain. But we're going to have a difference in recoil impulse because of the muzzle brake. I can tell you the recoil impulse without the muzzle brake was about similar to, maybe a little bit less than the 6 arc or the 6.5 Grendel. Practically nothing. And I could stay in the scope all the way through. Okay, so let me go turn that camera on down there for the last 3 shots. I put another dot on that target to have a different point of aim. So hopefully we can see where this hits cleanly. All right, let me go get everything done and we'll shoot these last 3 shots. Okay, let's go ahead and wrap this up with a target analysis. Thank you, Mr. Bill Wilson. So far, so good. Thumbs up. Okay, I'm sorry for this video to be so long, but you know, accuracy and a new rifle, a new ammunition, rarely do you get anything like this when you're working up loads for a brand new rifle, brand new barrel. But here we go. A credit to Mr. Bill Wilson. Alright, here was my first 2 sight ins, as you can see, and the average was 25.81 on those. Then I went, you know, at 100 yards here, 25.82, an SD of 2, 3 right together. Then second, 26.08, SD of 13. Right in there, and then the third, 26.23, and SD of 15. There's one out right there, but that's pretty close to the same cluster. Then the Lehigh Defense, you know, there's probably a reason why he bought the bullet company and added it to Wilson Combat All right, half a grain less on each one of these charges. Okay, so the first one, as you saw, was 2593, an SD of 39. Second one, 2595, an SD of 12. All 6 right there in one spot, and a half a grain less powder. Okay, then, you know, the third group here, I took off the magneto speed and put on a muzzle device, and the point of aim, point of impact slightly changed. Higher here, a little bit lower here, but not enough to make any difference. All right, so there you go, folks. There will be more coming, obviously, on this 300 hammer, because I want to work up some heavier loads and check it out, especially with the 150 grain against the 30-30 Winchester. Interesting little bit of a tidbit, when Mr. Wilson first wanted to name the 300 hammer, he was going to call it the 30-30 AR, but it ended up being the 300 hammer because he likes to pig hunt. All right, see you next time. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up, leave a comment if you will, subscribe, but definitely, no matter what, God bless y'all. See you next time. Goodbye.